Hi, this is Emily. This is Kirsten. I have to look at the camera. I have to remember that. And I'm actually hoping to do some Google Hangouts on air with financial aid and some of the campus resources around here, so you can get to meet some of the people around campus and also see it for yourself instead of just me talking about it or you talking about it. So anyways, how's your semester going, Emily?
Great.
What do you like about being an embedded tutor in Guidance 18?
I like being able to help people. So I like whenever they email me or write on the discussion boards to me, I like the opportunity to help. And I like being able to revisit all the things like the campus resources and the things that we learned last semester. And so that helps me remember to stay motivated. So, yeah.
Yeah. You kind of shared your story a little bit in the community Q&A about your kind of transition into college and how it was a little bit not as smooth as you were hoping.
Yeah.
And hopefully everybody got to read that in there. And I would say now you're pretty focused.
Most definitely.
On a major and all of that. Kind of maybe talk a little bit about what that was for you, like how that process came into play.
Well, I had my first year of college at Fresno State. I came from a small town high school. I expected not to do anything my first year of college and, get through like I did in high school. I was a 3.6 GPA all through high school. So I thought, I can do nothing in college and I'll be fine. I cannot go to classes and I'll be fine. But, the teachers of university don't really pay attention if you're not there. And so I would miss classes and they wouldn't really seem to care if you missed or not. If you missed, it was your problem. They weren't gonna, here's the notes,
Would you say it's the same way at Columbia?
It kind of depends on the teacher. Some of them are really, really good about, okay, here's the PowerPoint, or go ask another student. They can help you out.
But really, you're an adult here.
Right.
No matter what age you are, you're considered an adult here. And you're treated as such. Things are your choice.
Right.
Your choice to come to class, your choice to participate, your choice to not participate.
Right.
And so that is a huge difference between high school and college. It's your choice versus parents forcing you or school calling you, where are you?
Yeah.
Attendance.
Right.
Tracking. But yeah, our funding is not based on you coming. It's based on you signing up for the class.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas I noticed some of the teachers here on campus are, if you miss this many classes, I'm going to drop you.
Yeah.
With my chemistry class, it's if you miss 3 of the lectures, I'm dropping you. Whereas at Fresno State, it was just you can miss as many as you want and
you're gonna get a bad grade.
Yeah, you're just gonna end up with an F. But really coming to Columbia has helped me focus more on school. Whereas at Fresno State, I was so busy with, I'm in college now. I'm taking 18 units. I'm in the marching band. I have so much going on, but I'm not motivated.
Did you have a major choice at that time?
I did.
And what was it?
Physical therapy.
Okay.
And I had decided, I was probably a freshman in high school whenever I was like, I want to be a physical therapist. And then I did my first few years of college going for physical therapy, and then I ended up taking a botany class because I had to have it for a physical therapy major. And I realized, standing in front of that class, because we had to teach for about a week, 2 or 3 days, I realized that that's really where I needed to be. That was my passion. I am so excited to teach botany to students, and
I'm glad there's people like you in this world, because that is not me.
And I love it. It was just so interesting. And, there's so much you can do with it. We went on hikes and we had to do like a plant collection, and it was really interesting to be able to learn about the inner workings of the plants. And so that made me change my major, and now I'm more motivated than ever to finish school and move on with my life.
And you're taking some serious hardcore science classes. I
Yeah.
mean, as part of your biology major, and you're doing it and doing it well.
Yes.
Right? And what are some of those things that, I mean, the motivation is a huge factor,
Mhm.
but what are maybe like 2 or 3 tools or tips that really flip that for you in terms of succeeding in classes rather than just getting by?
Well,
Or
after
not
taking your guidance class really made me realize that the resources on campus are so important to my success. I use the AAC as much as I can, and I'm in the Career Transfer Center where there's the trio tutors or peer mentors, and whenever they're not busy, sometimes they'll help me out.
Okay.
If I'm having any issues. And then the teachers as well, like my trig teacher is always like, hey, come in.
And that's an
I'm at the
online
office.
class
Yes.
too. And so they're making yourself available or themselves available to you, even though you're an online student
Mhm.
in office, so you can meet with them face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like I do. Just hello.
She's very open. She's
Good.
always like, hey, come by. You have questions on this, or I saw that you did this wrong on the homework. Come by and we'll talk about it.
Okay, good. So interacting with professors,
Mhm.
using the resources.
Yeah, definitely. And then even finding other students in my class who know how to do things better than I do, and then I know how to do other things better than they do, and we kind of teach each other.
So using each other as a
Mhm.
resource, not just what the college provides, but
Right.
incorporating it with each other.
Yeah, as much as we can. There's actually a girl I work with in the AAC that we're taking the trig class together, and she's always like, let's meet up and let's figure this out. So we,
Right. And that's really great, especially for an online class, because you typically don't get that connection.
Mhm.
I mean, we get to talk in discussion boards and different ways of getting to know each other. And sometimes it's better in discussion boards because people share more than they would in a classroom setting, because
Mhm.
the intimidation factor of sharing it with 20 people versus being able to write it down and actually think about what you want to
Right.
say before you write it. So the participation in an online class can look a lot different and maybe even be more in depth,
Mhm.
but you definitely miss that face-to-face factor
Yeah.
of that connection. That's one of the reasons why I like doing the Google Hangout type things, because you see a face,
Mhm.
and now it's a real person over there instead of just a name or a picture,
Right.
in a discussion board. So
Yeah.
that's why we want to pull you guys into these discussions as much as we can. I'm going to be trying to offer one of these once a week, or even, once every other week if you guys aren't taking advantage of it. But really, I'm just in here, working on lecture stuff or whatever. I'd much rather be talking to you. So definitely, take advantage of the drop-in hours on Google Hangout. And it's really easy to set those up if you haven't done that already. There's a tip sheet in the Blackboard area on how to set up an account for it. So we're doing in this class different. I don't know if you've looked at the research project.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Actually, maybe this is something we can record so I can stop.
Okay.
So, so the research project, I know you and I kind of batted around ideas on how we could do that, but basically what it is each student is required to sign up for a particular idea or theme that we're talking about in a particular week. And then they have to use some sort of media technology to get it in a way that they can teach that, kind of what you did for your biology class.
Okay.
Or botany.
Botany.
4?
It was 6.
6?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you had to really take command of that subject to be able to teach it to somebody else. And that's the idea with this research project, is that you are researching and really diving into that particular topic, whether it's stress management or a particular study skill or personality theory, and really diving into it so that you can then teach your classmates, on a particular topic. So I know Emily said that she was open to maybe even taking on a topic or two within a week structure. So you might see her face in here on a lesson plan, but you guys had first dibs at those topics. So most of you signed up for your choice. Hopefully if you haven't already, you can go back in and do that, or else I'm just going to assign them because you all need to complete that research component. It's a huge point value in your assignments. So what are some maybe ideas on how to teach a lesson? Most of these students probably haven't taught a lesson before, especially online. So like maybe you and I can just brainstorm and give them some ideas on how they would even go about it. I know some students suggested they might already have ideas on how to do it using Flash or whatever. Is that video, right? That's streaming video. So what are maybe some other ideas? Do you know of anything that, like maybe what's a strategy you might use?
Well, whenever I did mine, I met with the teacher. I think it was a week or two before.
And that's part of the thing, right? Meet with me or Emily can both count for that.
And he actually gave me some really good resources. He gave me an extra book to read through, and then I kind of did my own research using like Google Scholar, things like that. And I just did a PowerPoint.
You did a PowerPoint presentation?
And I even found some activities online that related to my subject. That way I could keep everyone engaged in it.
Okay. So now it was a face-to-face class, right? So that's going to look a little different than an online teaching zone. So with a PowerPoint, you can get that in a video in a couple different ways. MoveNote is a free app. It's actually connected to Google and Google+. And you can save your PowerPoint as a PDF. I've actually done a couple of lectures through MoveNote. So you can save that as a PDF, and then your little video shows up in the corner, and you can scroll through the PowerPoint and talk that way. You guys probably feel like that's not the most interactive or effective way to learn material, but it does get the message across. Another way that you could do it is a Prezi. You can even use PowerPoint into a Prezi. It's Prezi.com. It creates a really cool, it has a lot of templates and stuff in there, so you don't have to create it from scratch. But it's a great presentation tool, and you can use like a program called Screencast-O-Matic, which you can get a 15-minute presentation for free. Screencasting, which basically means it's looking at your screen and recording what's on there. You can put your little picture in the bottom if you want, or you can turn off your webcam and just record the Prezi while you're talking over it, or you can put videos into it or pictures into it, and it slides in really neat and fun. So that's an idea. You could film a video, if maybe study skills was your thing, maybe you can write it out and film it. Maybe you can, do a funny skit about stress management and ideas on how to manage it, right?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Some tried and true ways to manage stress in a funny skit or something. What are some other ways to communicate? I'm good with you incorporating videos that you find online too. Maybe you find a really great tool on TED Talks or something like that that really hits the point you want to talk about. That can be part of your process as well. I'm definitely great with incorporating things that you find elsewhere. That's part of your research, right? Finding these tools, and they just have to be documented as, accurate sources of educational research. It's not just, what this, bonehead over here says about stress management. Okay, you need to have some really documentation, really valid research documentation, and submit that. No Wikipedia, right? Google by itself is not a valid source. Google Scholar is. There's the Columbia College Library has a wealth of information. And then, I have quite a few different books depending on what your topic is. I can help you with that, and we could meet. Like Emily did mention, meeting one-on-one, either with me or with Emily, is part of the assignment. We just want to make sure you're going in the right direction. If you have any questions, we can kind of guide that process. And we want to make sure what you're putting out to the class is real and valid information that you've obtained from valid sources. So just in helping you navigate that, and also maybe giving you some ideas on how to actually get it online, because that can be that can be a really scary,
Roadblock.
yeah, just kind of an intimidating piece of the puzzle. So we can try to come up with some different ways to help you with that. So that's the research project. So anyways, so okay, it's past 12. I'm stopping this thing.